All right, welcome back. It's time to check the last chance to play. We're going to go to collections and we're going to scroll all the way down until we see the last chance to play. Let's check out these games. Ooh, not too bad. So if you watched the prediction video, we guessed a few of these. The ones we got right are Battlefield 2042, Sonic Frontiers, Forspoken, and Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge Enhanced Edition. The other games are going to leave are Grand Theft Auto 3 Definitive Edition, Arcade Paradise VR, Firefighting Simulator The Squad, Surviving Mars, and Star Trek Bridge Crew. This one's been on here forever. So that's the short version of all the games that are going to be leaving last chance to play, but I'm not going to say all quite yet because Sony is known to add a few last minute. They've done this a couple of times the last few months. So if you enjoyed the short version, just drop a like for the algo. Maybe leave a comment on what game is worth trying. If you actually want to see gameplay of the games, as well as the runtime and critic rating, stick around the video and we'll show you some more. And we're also going to tell you why some of these games did not appear in the last chance to play prediction video 2 weeks ago. So if you're a subscriber, you got a 2-week head start on Battlefield 2042, Sonic Frontiers, and also on Forspoken. And if you're a channel member, you got a 3-week head start. So subscribe today to get your timely updates and to get a head start on these last chance to play games. As far as the other games on the list that were not on the prediction video, well, that's because they had weird contracts that were unpredictable, and we'll get into that right now. So if you're new here, how these prediction videos work is we go and check out the 1-year and 2-year contracts. So for example, December is coming up. So we looked at December of 2024 and the games of the month then were Sonic Frontiers and Forspoken. And that's why those games are leaving right now. So there's Forspoken and this game already left. This one's staying. And thankfully, Coffee Talk 1 and 2 are still going to stick around. And I just learned that Coffee Talk 3 is coming out, or it could be out by now. It's called Coffee Talk Tokyo. I just saw the trailer for it. And also, this other short game is not leaving a space for the Unbound. So good news is none of these short games are leaving as of yet. They could still announce them. And if we scroll down all the way to Premium, we could see that Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge was in the Premium section. So there's 1, 2, 3 games that are from 2024. Here's the funny thing about December from 2023. Guess what crazy game was the headliner for December of 2023? Yeah, that's right. Grand Theft Auto 5. Like, we just got Grand Theft Auto 5 and they gave it to us as the headliner. Surprisingly, nothing had a 2-year contract. Nothing from 2 years ago is still around and is leaving. So none of these games are leaving as of right now. So that covers Sonic Frontiers, Forspoken, and Star Wars. What about Battlefield? Battlefield was from 6 months ago. You can see it right here. So that was in June. So June wasn't the crazy month because our day 1 drop was FBC Firebreak, and I don't think that did that well. And also we got the worst rated Battlefield, which is Battlefield 2042. And because we lost Battlefield 5 and Battlefield 1 a month ago and 2 months ago, I predicted this month we were going to lose to Battlefield 2042, and we are. So these were the games we got, I believe, in June, but we got some bonus games after the days of play, and that included Another Crab's Treasure, Skull and Bones, and Grand Theft Auto 3 Definitive Edition. Some call this game the worst version of one of the best games of all time. So what about these games? What about Arcade Paradise and all these games? Well, Arcade Paradise was from March. How weird is that? This is from March's catalog, and this is a really weird thing that's been happening in 2025. Usually we get 6-month, 12-month, or 24-month contracts, but for some reason, the last few months, ever since spring, we've been getting 7-month and 8-month contracts, because we usually get 6, 12, or 24-month. But the interesting thing is it says Arcade Paradise VR. There's 2 versions of this game on the catalog. So does that mean the original Arcade Paradise non-VR version is staying and only the VR version is leaving for premium? I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. Anyway, those are your games. Let's go jump into gameplay and see what all the games are about. This one's interesting because it's Sonic. But it's not the Sonic that you grew up with. Instead of the usual linear, fast-paced levels, Sonic Frontiers drops Sonic into a wide open island, almost like a mini open world where you can run, explore, and solve puzzles at your own pace. They call it an open zone platformer, which basically means you still have the classic Sonic speed, but now you can take different routes, experiment, and find your own flow. The story is simple but emotional. Sonic and his friends get pulled into a digital world filled with ancient ruins and mysterious enemies, and for the first time in a while, the tone is a bit more serious. Gameplay is a mix of of fast open-world exploration, short classic-style stages, light combat, and physics-based puzzles scattered around the map. It's not perfect, some of the controls can feel a bit floaty, but when the game clicks, it really clicks. Boosting across an island, chaining rails, and launching yourself hundreds of feet in the air is the kind of thing no other Sonic game lets you do. It looks big, but it's not that bloated. You can make progress in short bursts. Each puzzle or mini level takes just a minute or two sometimes. It's so rare to play a game for only 10 minutes and actually feel like you accomplished something. It's a medium-length game, but it really depends on how much exploring you do. It's not short either, but definitely doable for busy players. So if you ever wish Sonic games felt more modern but still wanted that classic speed and charm, Frontiers is worth checking out before it disappears. Sonic Frontiers got a Metacritic rating of 70 with a user score of 8.1. Sonic Frontiers can be beat in 16.5 hours and 27 hours for the platinum. I hope all you subscribers already got a 2-week head start on this and are almost finished, and I hope channel members enjoyed that 3-week head start on this game. Forspoken had a mixed reputation when it first launched, but if you go in with the right expectation, there's actually something here that you might enjoy. It's an open-world action RPG about a girl from New York who suddenly gets transported into a magical world and has to find her way back. And although not everyone loved the dialogue or the main character, the world itself is pretty interesting, filled with lore and good world building. The gameplay is where Forspoken stands out. Instead of swords or bows, you use elemental magic like fire, earth, water, electricity, and you combine spells on the fly to create fast, flashy combat. Think of it like a parkour mage simulator. You're constantly moving, dodging, sliding, and casting spells while sprinting across huge open areas. And the parkour system is pretty good too. Holding a button lets you sprint, jump across cliffs, run up walls and buildings, or glide across giant landscapes. The traversal feels smooth and stylish, and once you unlock more abilities, moving around the world becomes pretty fun. Forspoken got a critic score of 64 with a user score of 4.3. Ooh. Forspoken can be beat in 14.5 hours, and completionist run, you're looking at almost 60 hours. When this game first came out, the game had a rough reputation. There were bugs, missing features, confusing map designs, all the usual Battlefield launch chaos. But here's the twist. After years of patches and updates, 2042 is actually not that bad. It's in a much better place. So if you skipped it when it came out, this is actually the best time to try it. It's a massive multiplayer shooter focused on huge dynamic battles with up to 128 players. But there's no single player campaign, it's all multiplayer. It's very unpredictable. There's weather events like tornadoes and sandstorms, forcing everyone to adapt, but I'm not going to talk too much about it. Battlefield 2042 got a rating of 68 with a user score of 2.4. I think that's the lowest on the entire catalog. Battlefield 2042 is a multiplayer game and there is no campaign, but it does say co-op 4 hours, whatever that means, and up to 100 hours in versus mode. I don't even know if there's a platinum in here. Arcade Paradise. In Arcade Paradise, you run a laundromat, but you secretly turn it into a full arcade business. But in VR, the whole thing becomes way more immersive and way more fun than it has any right to be. The story is pretty simple. Your dad leaves you in charge of a rundown laundromat. He wants you to manage it responsibly, but you'd rather build your dream arcade in the back room. So while you're folding clothes, scrubbing floors, and collecting coins from washing machines, you're also smuggling in arcade cabinets, upgrading machines, and trying to turn the place into a retro gaming empire. The gameplay in VR makes it more hands-on. Instead of just pressing buttons, you're actually grabbing the laundry, tossing the trash bag, pulling levers on machines, and physically collecting coins. And once you get your arcade going, all the mini-games are playable in first-person VR, from rhythm shooters to racing games to retro puzzle machines. It's great for short sessions. Arcade Paradise VR got a rating of 75 with a user score of 6.0. Arcade Paradise can be beat between 15 and 20 hours, but that's for the VR version. This is why I think it's two different games, because the normal version, the non-VR version, you're looking at 25 to 46 hours. Next up is Surviving Mars. Let's do one more. This is a city building sim with a sci-fi twist. Instead of running a town on Earth, you're building the very first colony on Mars. You're managing resources, keeping your colonists alive, and slowly growing your settlement, from one small dome to a full bustling Martian city. Every choice you make can create its own story, like losing power during a dust storm, or running out of oxygen because you expanded too fast. The gameplay is all about balancing survival and growth. You start with drones that build everything for you: solar panels, water extractors, cables, vehicles, oxygen tanks, but then you bring humans to the planet. The pressure goes up. Humans need food, comfort, jobs, and entertainment. If something goes wrong, the whole colony can collapse. There's also this weird mystery system where each playthrough has its own hidden storyline, like rogue AI, alien artifacts, or strange scientific events. You never know what twist you're going to get, which adds a little surprise to every run and replayability. Surviving Mars got a rating of 76 with a user score of 7.0. Surviving Mars takes 22 hours, or 190 hours for the platinum. And I don't want this video to be too long, so let's just rapid fire through the last games. Grand Theft Auto 3, the trilogy, the definitive edition, got a 54 and a user score of 1.2. That is the new record for the worst game ever. They weren't kidding with that headline. The original Grand Theft Auto 3 was between 14 and 37 hours. Firefighting Simulator: The Squad got a rating of 60 with a user score of 2.6. This is one of the worst lineup of games I have ever seen on this channel. Firefighting Simulator: The Squad is all red. That's not good. Looking at 11 hours for the main story and 32 hours for the platinum. Star Trek Bridge Crew got a rating of 75 with a user score of 7.0. Star Trek Bridge Crew is the only game that could be considered a short game, with a main story of 6 hours and a completionist run of 14 hours, but it wasn't rated that well either. So this is the only game that's considered a short game. There's not too many short games leaving. Space for the Unbound is staying, Coffee Talk is staying. Not only short games, but I'm going to say that there's not many good games leaving at all. Except for Sonic Frontiers. I say give that a try. Everything else, like, skip. I want to say try Arcade Paradise VR, because Arcade Paradise is a very unique game, but it is not a short game. And also, this is just VR version, so maybe we are keeping Arcade Paradise. But overall, it's a pretty good list. What do you think? What are you going to play? Thanks for watching the video, and until next time, be a friend, and I'll see you again.